What is the worst thing you have done because you got confused between items in different hands? This was my brother, but I was on the receiving end. We were at a country club for a wedding one evening and there were various backgammon games set up. This happened so long ago I don't even remember how to play backgammon anymore. But it was my brother's turn and he was excited. So excited he slammed his glass of bourbon down on the game board and thrust the dice cup full of dice into his mouth. Totally worth being covered in watered-down liquor to witness such buffoonery. I had a cup of coffee and a little single-serve container of coffee cream. I opened the cream container, poured its contents into the trash, and then dropped the empty container into my coffee. Was drinking a hot cup of coffee on the back porch while throwing a ball for my dog. To be fair, it was like 4 AM and the pup wasn't hurt, but my favorite mug got rearranged and the tree got some dirty bean water. Friend of mine once put the remote control in the oven and then wondered why he found himself in the living room holding a sausage. Remote control was destroyed. And it had previously spent several days in the back of a freezer because of a similar incident. My husband cleans the cat litter box and puts the gleanings in a tied-off plastic grocery bag. He also puts his lunch in a tied-off plastic grocery bag. When he goes to work he takes both bags outside, one to come with him and one for the trash can. Mistakes have happened. When I was 10, I was watching TV and had the remote in one hand and a cup of hot tea in the other. My dad came in and asked for the remote. Instead of tossing him the remote, I threw my cup of tea and it went all over him. The next morning his chest and legs were red. Funny enough, I threw my phone in the trash just this morning and realized only after dumping the trash into my clothes bin. I was studying my notes, which were in a notebook, while also following lecture slides on my iPad. I tried zooming in my notes. Happened many more times throughout the sem. I had a container of curd in my left hand and a packet on my right hand. Someone asked me what time it was, and when I proceeded to see my watch, which I was wearing on the left hand, I ended up spilling the curd all over myself as the lid was not tightened enough. I once picked up my toothbrush and then instead of picking up toothpaste I picked up a tube of cortisone. Luckily caught myself. I also once picked up a razor instead of a toothbrush and just stared at it. Another time I poured water on the floor instead of in the sink. Just imagine someone standing facing away from the sink, angling their glass of water downwards and just staring at the stream of water hitting the floor. Mom has done the same, but poured the glass of water into a dog cage my cat was chilling in. Cat didn't move but stared at her like what the fuck. Put my box of cereal in the fridge and my gallon of milk on top of it. Stayed that way unnoticed for almost 24 hours. Drank paint water and whilst washing my brush in my cup of tea. 2 simultaneous fuck-ups. Not me but a friend of mine. I was at a party a couple of years ago, typical early adult stuff, so everyone is drunk by the end of the day. I myself can't drink, so I've got a front row seat to this glorious event. My friends were all in the same age group, so newly 21-year-olds drinking their fill. You can imagine what happens later. The bathrooms start filling up with a bunch of new drinkers blowing chunks. My cousin and her so happen to be at this party. She's about ready to throw up. Her boyfriend is already taking care of her brother, who had just thrown up. I should mention that the boyfriend is also drunk as fuck. He has a bowl in one hand, half full of the brother's vomit, and nothing in the other hand. My cousin is heaving and all the bathrooms are locked. Trash cans and sink are free, but we were upstairs. No way are these three making it down there. So boyfriend looks at his hand in a drunken daze, then to the hand with the large bowl in it, then to his heaving so who's ready to throw up. I look at him, and I can practically see his brain trying to tell him what to do. No good, his motor skills are fucked, so in attempt to help my cousin, he hurriedly moves his empty hand to below her mouth, and catches all of her vomit in his empty palm. I watch in horror as it spills onto the white rug of our friend's house. The boyfriend, as vomit flows through his empty hand, stares at his other hand with the bowl in it, and mouths a silent fuck as he realizes slowly that his body did not perform the way he wanted it to. It's a story we still tell to this day. Had a friend who had a cookie on one hand and a wrapper on the other. He was hiding in the bathroom so he can have all the cookie to himself. In panic, he ended up shoving the wrapper in his mouth and the cookie in the toilet. I was just going for a walk with one of my daughters the other day. She stops and picks a dandelion off someone's property. Not one of the yellow dandelions, but the one you blow on and it sends weed sperm all over the place. So there she is walking along with a lollipop in one hand and a dandelion in the other. Do the math. This isn't a mixed up hands story, but it's in the same vein. So one day after delivering an order whilst on my former pizza delivery job, I was walking back to my car. As I walked, I took my car key between my fingers, and my brain told my hand, "Okay hand, the next thing you're going to do is insert that key into the ignition to start the car." And my hand was like, "Okay, word. I got this." Then as I sat down in the car, my brain said to me, "Panhead09, you should probably take your phone out of your pocket and charge it before starting the car. The battery is getting low." And I said, "That's a good idea, brain. You should pass that along to my hand." And my brain said, "I think I'll do just that." So my brain relayed this message, which had to pass through my arm. And as the message was about at my elbow, my arm said, "Charging the phone? Got it. I'll get this process going." And so my arm started moving to get my phone out of my pocket. But here's the thing. My arm started moving before the new message made it to my hand. So while my arm was all excited, going "Oh yay, that phone is gonna get so charged," my hand was still in its own little world, thinking, "Insert the key and turn on the engine, insert the key and turn on the engine." Anyway, that's how I ended up stabbing myself in the leg with my car key. Sat down by the ocean to smoke a joint with my buddy. He is about to spark up, so I hand him a lighter. Turns out it was dead, so I hand him a second lighter. He then proceeds to throw the good lighter into the ocean like at it. I just sat there being like, I don't know what I am more mad about here, not being able to yell smoke or you being an ass by throwing plastic in the ocean. He was just staring out there not saying a word, knowing he fucked up twice. Was a pretty classic moment in retrospect. I had 2 cups on the table, one with goldfish, the other with lemonade. I was eating and drinking while watching YouTube. I got deep into the content and ended up drinking from the goldfish cup, and before I had a chance to react I had 4 fingers in my lemonade. You made it to the end. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more Reddit content. It's free and that's a great prize.